There has never been a more important time to move in a vegan direction. Whether you're ready to start, restart, or re-energize your vegan or plant-based practice, this podcast is for you. I'm Michele Olander, life coach, vegan, ADHD matriarch, travel lover, and smoothie loather. And I know that it's the details that get in the way of your vegan journey. But I like to believe that the obstacle is always the way. So every week we meet here where I translate the tools of life coaching and Stoic philosophy. I bring you actionable tips, some laughs, interesting guests, and vegan ideas for everyone at any age. All to help you veg your best. Episode 234. The kids are watching. Welcome back, my Veg Your Besties, and welcome to all new listeners. You know, it's going to sound a little different today because I have been struggling for the last hour to get my normal microphone to work. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know if I have a bad cord. Suddenly, it's not working. So my trusty Audio Technica, whatever it is, ATR, it's just not working. So things are going to sound a little different because you know what? Sometimes it works perfectly with the subject of today's podcast. Sometimes you don't look like a master in what you're offering, what you're doing, how you're showing up. So I wanted to start today by saying it is really a lot of fun to be good at things. It is really great to be an expert, to be a master, to be the person who knows exactly what they're doing. And I say that because I have no idea, but I imagine that it is awesome to be great at things. But here's what I think. Our most amazing lives, our most fulfilling, rewarding, impactful moments, they come from being willing to be new at something, to try things, to stumble, to experiment, to ask for help, and to risk looking awkward or even worse. Episode 234, and I can't make my microphone work. Okay. so, so maybe this is God's way of giving me a bold example of what today's episode is about. But it was coming up for me because, you know, we're always trying to encourage young folks to put themselves out there. We're trying to support young people as they try and go, what is it? Go big or go home, seize the day. What are all the aphorisms? What are all the go get 'em, take no prisoners expressions that we put out there for young people? And why do we believe it's so important for the younger folks to lean in and try harder and get out there and put their backs in it and be brave and be themselves loud and proud? You know, you get it, right? But if you're in midlife, or, you know, if maybe midlife was a couple of summers ago, I wonder if we can do something more to support some of these reluctant or anxious younger ones. Maybe we could model for some of them, some of these kind of overwhelmed kids who feel so scrutinized and judged in this world of 24-hour social media. Maybe there's a way they can see us putting ourselves out there and being vulnerable and sharing how that is going for us and how it feels to not always know what the next step is. So, as I said at the top, it sounds amazing to me, the idea of being a master at something, really being an expert. But if I have any kind of expertise or mastery at all, I think it might just be in having in my 50s and 60s started to be brave enough to fail publicly. To sit here, to stand here, to get on Instagram or do this podcast and to look awkward and be willing to know that people Quite a few people may be saying, what the heck is she doing? What's going on with her? How old is she now? Because there are so many great reasons to blow your own mind doing things you never thought you could do, even even if you never manage to master those things. And it turns out that it's not just my opinion, but it seems that science bears out what I feel so strongly in my life and in the life of my clients. According to science reported through the National Institute on Aging, and by the way, I can't promise that if you're listening in the future that the National Institute on Aging will still exist. Our government is being reorganized, and certain departments of the National Institute of Health may not make it. It's possible, but it did exist, the National Institute on Aging, and it reported how crucial for humans it is of all ages to try new things throughout our lives. Learning new things, engaging in novel activities help maintain human cognitive health. They help improve memory, and they even slow down cognitive decline that happens as some people age. Learning new things is essentially exercising the brain. Trying new things can be just as important as physical exercise for overall well being. And that's because of things like brain plasticity, even older brains. There is capacity for neuroplasticity. We've talked about that bunches here, meaning the brain can still form new connections and adapt to new learning experiences. Cognitive benefits have been borne out by studies that show learning new skills like languages, playing instruments, taking up new hobbies. These can all positively impact cognitive function, memory, and processing speed. The mental stimulation of learning and challenging yourself, engaging in mentally challenging activities, this helps keep our brains active, and it can potentially delay age related cognitive decline. And just the improved quality of life from trying new things, this can lead to so much more. The downstream, the ripple benefits of increased social interaction and senses of accomplishment, enjoyment, connection, these all contribute to a better quality of life in adults. And I know for sure if you're like most of the people who listen and respond to this podcast, you probably have decades of food habits and traditions and routines and beliefs that are very dialed in, that feel very second nature to you. And it's hard not to think, hmm, I think it's kind of too late to make a big change like moving in a vegan direction, or to not have too much belief in your ability to follow through, that you won't be able to keep it up, or that you don't have the support you need to learn a plant based practice, or even maybe worst of all, but it doesn't really matter, won't make that much difference. I know. I've felt all those things at times. And you know what? Young people feel that way too about so many things. I've heard, I bet you have too, I've heard people in their 30s, even in their 20s, say, it's probably too late. I know. I know you've heard that too. I know your mind has been blown by a young person going, I don't know. I probably missed the boat on that. It's too late. What am I going to do? Start that now? And in coaching, this comes up all the time. One of the things so many older clients say is, if I could just tell my younger self one thing, it would be not to be afraid that you missed your chance and that it's too late, not to talk yourself out of what you want. What was true then is still true. And personally, I think moving in a plant based or a vegan direction, even in your 50s or 60s or 70s or beyond, is a really powerful, a really positive thing. And if that's you, maybe this is exactly the right time to start. Why? Because being a beginner at something new, something like eating plant based, this is one of the best things you can do for your brain, for your body, and your sense of purpose and your commitment to the next generation and the other earthlings on this planet who really do need your leadership. Just as you would tell a young person to, lean in and take that next step and not worry too much and not compare themselves to other people and to try and enjoy the process and the experimentation, that goes triple, maybe more than that. That goes triple for us. Nutritionally, a plant-based diet is filled with anti-inflammatory, heart-healthy nutrients that can nourish your body at any age. And yes, even starting in midlife, can often improve or even sometimes reverse years of less than optimal habits. That's leadership. Learning new skills, including why and how to plan or order or cook plant-based meals or to make more ethical purchases, more sustainable choices. That knowledge strengthens neural pathways. It helps to keep our minds sharp. And studies show that even in much later years, our brains remain plastic, meaning they can adapt and grow when challenged. And we can just look at that as brain gymnastics. Emotional resilience. Starting something new builds emotional resilience. We all talk about how necessary grit is for young people. As we age, we need this too. We need to practice focusing more on positive outcomes and less on setbacks and challenges. We need grit too. And let's not forget that adopting a beginner's mindset can bring such a renewed sense of joy and purpose when you see yourself, however imperfectly, voting with your time and your purchases and your brain power for things that cause less suffering and less degradation to the planet. And that remind everyone that the planet we're leaving for billions of young people needs leadership. You model something when You model something we need now more than ever. It's never, ever too late to live a little more closely to who you want to be. Jane Goodall, national treasure, age 90. I guess international treasure, actually. She has more inspiring quotes than I can even believe. But for today's purposes here, quote, the greatest danger to our future is apathy. That's Jane Goodall. You cannot, she says, you cannot get through a single day without having an impact on the world around you. Unquote. She's saying you are changing the world. We are changing the world with our choices today, every day. All of us are, whether we want to or not, whether we like it or not. Owning that in whatever way we can is the most liberating, exciting, and connecting thing we can do. Yeah, that's my opinion. That's what I see in the people I work with. Maybe vegan. Maybe vegan seems like an ideal, and you don't currently believe it's possible for you or practicable for you. And maybe being plant-based seems like a great idea, but not realistic. That's fine. That's fine. It's not only fine, it's completely normal, and it's still so valuable, so worthy, so remarkable to just start making some steps in that direction. Taking some actions inspired by those concepts. That is why this podcast is Veg Your Best. Veg Your Best, because most of us can't really believe that we can do the full vegan thing. It's not that we've failed at it, we just can't even believe it. Our younger generations need us in many ways, but they really need us to show leadership, to make choices to protect the planet, to make choices that lead to family and community health and sustainability. And yes, being a beginner feels awkward at our age, at their ages, at every age. And I get it, starting something new, it can be really frustrating. Sometimes after 230 or so episodes, you can't figure out how to make your microphone work. Maybe that will be you. And maybe you feel overwhelmed by all the options or worry about getting enough protein. Maybe you've tried before and it didn't stick, or maybe you're afraid what friends and family are going to think or say when you show up with lentil loaf, or you cross-examine a waiter at the diner instead of just eating the meat and eggs you always did. It's all normal because our brains love routines. They're efficient, they're comfortable, and they'll try to talk you out of making not just this change, they'll try to make you think about giving up any change. You'll hear thoughts like, too hard. Gosh, I'm too old for this. It's too late. But here's the truth, my veggie bestie, it's not too late. In fact, there has never been a better time to embrace plant-based living. There's never been more resources, recipes, products, support. There's never been more available. The world is ready for you to succeed. So, quick 6 strategies to help make being a beginner a little bit easier as you navigate this exciting new chapter. If you're willing, be willing to do it poorly. Oh my gosh, the most important thing, anything worth doing is worth doing badly. You will make mistakes. You will. Okay, that's part of the adventure. Number 2, expect it to not go according to plan. Is that the same as number 1? A little bit. Okay, you say, I'll go plant-based, it'll be smooth sailing, but then surprise, it's not smooth at all. And you just try again. Number 3, take good care of yourself. Challenging, changing anything, take care of yourself. Changing how you eat, it's a big shift. It takes energy. Stay hydrated. Eat food, enough food, and make sure you're getting rest and nutrients like B12 and iron. Remember, it's not about being perfect, it's about progress. And number 4, don't take yourself too seriously. I don't even need to explain that one, do I? Just don't take it too seriously. It is serious enough. You don't need to add pressure to your life. Enjoy this. Approach this journey with curiosity and self compassion. It's all part of the process. Number 5, don't compare yourself. You know what they say when we compare ourselves? Just don't compare yourself to others. Maybe someone else is doing it all differently. Don't worry about it. You're doing you. You're vegging your best. Number 6, manage your mind. Your brain resists change. That's its job, actually. It'll tell you it's too hard, that you're too set in your ways. Talk back with some kindness. Yeah, this is new, but I can get better at it. I don't need to be perfect. All I need to do is keep going. Okay, that's enough for today. Your mission, if you choose to accept this, is it's to just try on the thought. It's not too late. If you knew it wasn't too late, what would you do? How inspiring do you think that would be? How would that ripple through your life? And how can we cheer you on, whether it's starting, restarting, or re energizing your plant based practice or any other challenge? I would love to support you. I would love to be your coach. And while you're giving that a think this week, maybe just veg your best.
Veg Your Best podcast production, music, and editing by Charlie Weinshank. Thanks, Charlie. Before you go, it would mean so much to me and the Veg Your Best team if you would hit subscribe, leave us a 5-star review, or share with someone you think might be interested. Something about algorithms, it helps bump us up a little in the rankings, and that's the best way to help others find the podcast and for us to find our audience. So, until next week, make it easy and veg your best.